You're listening to The Foundation of Wellness, a refreshing take on diet and lifestyle, with Jessica Dogert, a registered dietitian nutritionist, and Marisa Moon, a primal health coach.
Hey you guys, my name is Jessica and I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist, and you can learn all about me on my website, jessicadogert.com.
Hey everybody, it's Marisa Moon. I'm a certified primal health coach and the recipe blogger from mylongevitykitchen.com. You can learn more at marisamoon.com.
Today's episode is episode 33, and it's all about quitting your soda or pop drinking habit. You know, when I was in college at Purdue, our convenience stores sold something called a Den Pop. It was only 79 cents, and it was like 90 ounces. It was huge, you guys. I remember getting a Diet Mountain Dew every night that I'd have to stay up and study, or me and my sorority sisters would sometimes use it as a chaser for shots. And looking back, oh my goodness, to know what I know now, wow, I would have never been drinking those ginormous things.
90 ounces, holy cow.
And I drink it all.
Oh man, well, I feel the same way you do. I didn't really grow up drinking much pop. I call it pop. In this episode, you're going to hear us say pop a lot. I don't know if you call it soda, but Jess and I call it pop. But I didn't really grow up drinking it because it wasn't in the house. My parents didn't really want it in the house. But I remember when my soda drinking habit started. It was in high school. I'd get this ice cold can of Diet Coke from the vending machine, along with a bag of Flamin' Hot Cheetos every afternoon right before my math class. And I'd drink my Diet Coke and eat those Flamin' Hot Cheetos during class. Otherwise, I always felt like I was going to fall asleep during math. Even though I loved math class, it was just this typical afternoon slump that we've all experienced. And it was like my undiagnosed ADHD brain just like craving for some stimulation. And once that habit started in high school, I was totally hooked. I couldn't eat fast food without a Diet Coke. I couldn't even eat a restaurant meal without a Diet Coke. I definitely couldn't go to the movie theater without a Diet Coke. It was so synonymous with all these different activities in my life. The activities would just trigger that call for a Diet Coke, and it seemed like a long road ahead if I even wanted to stop this habit.
Okay, so loading up on soda isn't the best move you can make for your health. I think you all know this. You know, it may not kill you, but we can't argue that it's safe for you either, especially if you're drinking it regularly. So not only does pop affect your metabolism, it also affects your brain power. It leads to brain fog and lack of focus. So I am really excited to share some stats on this toxic stuff, as well as strategies for quitting.
Yeah, let's think about what you said there for a second, Jess, that drinking pop affects our metabolism. The metabolism is involved in, well, every process that occurs in the body regarding like breaking down nutrients and toxins, manufacturing and using energy in all different ways. A lot of times we just think of the metabolism only regarding our ability to burn calories, right? But there's so much more to our metabolism than that. And here's what you need to know. When you're messing up your metabolism or your metabolic health, it can and will lead to an entire slew of chronic diseases that we all know far too well today. And I couldn't possibly say it better myself than the way Dr. Mark Hyman said it. Dr. Hyman, let me remind you, is this international expert on functional medicine and integrative medicine, and he's a practicing family physician that's trusted around the world. Hyman said, sugar-sweetened beverages are the single biggest factor contributing to obesity and are also linked to type 2 diabetes, fatty liver disease, kidney failure, high blood pressure, heart disease, and more. End of story. Full stop. Sugar-sweetened beverages are deadly. That's right. Soda, sweetened iced tea, juice, you name it. Liquid sugar is a gigantic absolute nope, you guys. And this includes artificially sweetened beverages. Marisa, like that Diet Coke you were drinking?
So luckily, many Americans are becoming increasingly aware of soda's dark side, and we're getting better about drinking less of it. But that said, according to a new study based on a continuing national health survey, over 60% of children and 50% of adults drank a sugary beverage on any given day in 2014. Granted, the statistic was an improvement since 2003, but with over half of us drinking sweetened drinks regularly, that's still a lot of sugary beverages that we should not be drinking on a daily basis.
And maybe we're getting a bit more hip to the health concerns in America, but these beverage companies are expanding their reach with huge success in impoverished communities and nations around the world that really don't have access to the knowledge or healthier options as we do. Like in Latin America, for instance, soda consumption's on the rise, increasing by 25%.
So what's wrong with soda? Soda is like a sugar injection for your body because it is in fact liquid sugar. So sweetened drinks, sugar in liquid form, are really the worst kind of sugar that you can consume. Plus, soda is filled with empty calories and it's void of any kind of real nutrition.
That's right. Not only is it empty calories, but consuming sugar in excess is even considered lethal by so many experts who study the causes of heart disease, diabetes, cancer, Alzheimer's, and more. And if you think that the only sign that you're consuming too much sugar is that you gain weight, you're wrong. Sugar's making you sick even if you're thin.
Oh, amen. So check out episode number 6 of our podcast to learn all the signs that you are consuming too much sugar. So most sodas list high fructose corn syrup as one of their main ingredients, which is a harmful sweetener derived from corn, which might cause diabetes and metabolic syndrome and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So high fructose corn syrup also accelerates the aging process. It deteriorates your teeth and it just weakens your immune system.
High fructose corn syrup, or HFCs for short, are in nearly everything today, you guys. Look at those labels. You know, high fructose corn syrup is so cheap that food companies are putting them in everything just to replace sugar and save some money. It's in your beverages, your salad dressings, your snacks and frozen foods, everything. And Jess, you mentioned non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. I'm glad you did. This is a big deal. It's a new problem, or like a new disease regarding human health. And today it's the number one cause of liver disease. Whoa. And by 2030, it's expected that half of Americans, young and old, will have fatty liver disease. That's only 10 years from now, you guys. What is going on here? Well, those HFCs, the sugar that's in most soda pop, those HFCs are metabolized differently than sugar. And it can do even more harm, including damage to our guts and our liver. It damages the liver exactly like alcohol does. It taxes your liver, causing rampant inflammation, and it can significantly reduce your lifespan.
Yikes. And high fructose corn syrup, it can also contain mercury as a byproduct of the way that it's produced. And as we know, mercury is extremely toxic and difficult to get rid of in your body and brain, causing long-term consequences with your health. And on top of that, it's highly addictive. Brain scans done in human studies show that groups drinking high fructose corn syrup had increased blood flow in the part of the brain that regulates cravings, rewards, and addictive behaviors.
That's right. It's the same part of the brain that lights up when alcoholics have a drink, or when compulsive gamblers are entering a casino. You know, when drug addicts take a hit of their drug of choice.
Right. So when this reward center in our brain lights up in response to sugar, it reinforces the desire for sugar, which over time gives rise to intense cravings that play a role in sugar and soda addiction. So it doesn't matter if it's high fructose corn syrup or natural sugar that's in your soda. Most of these concerns and absolutely the addictive properties still occur with regular sugar. Did you know that just one can contains around 40 grams of sugar, which is an intense dosage that exceeds the recommended amount of added sugar per day, which is only 25 grams?
Yeah, you're talking about one can of soda, right? Are you ready for this, though, you guys? A 20-ounce bottle, which is pretty normal these days, a 20-ounce bottle of Mountain Dew has 77 grams of sugar. And a 20-ounce bottle of Coke has 64 grams of sugar. But many of us would just throw back a 20-ounce pop or a larger size like it's nothing. We won't even give it a second thought. Why? It's as if we think that because it's a drink, it doesn't count. We don't think of it for some reason like sugar that's in candy or junk food when we're drinking it. But if you think about it, that's pretty crazy because we wouldn't think twice about drinking a 20-ounce soda with 70 grams of sugar in it, but we'd never think it's okay to eat 2 sleeves of Starburst fruit chews in one day, would we? 2 entire sleeves of Starburst candy would equal that one 20-ounce soda bottle. You see what I'm saying here?
My mind is blown. So Tiffany from your private Facebook group, Marisa, she asked, is it true that soda enhances anxiety and depression? And I will say absolutely yes. Some studies show a direct correlation between drinking soda to anxiety and depression. And this is likely due to bad bacteria feeding off sugar and multiplying. So bad bacteria in our gut actually affects our mood, it changes our taste buds, it influences our hormones, and it just hijacks signals to our brain. And new research from the American Academy of Neurology has actually found that sweetened drinks, especially of the diet variety, are actually associated with a heightened risk of depression. So the study began back in 1995 when researchers started tracking 263,925 people between the ages of 50 and 71. So for an entire year, investigators measured consumption of beverages like soda, fruit punch, and coffee. And a decade later, those involved in the study reported on whether or not they had been diagnosed with depression in the recent years. And the findings, those who downed at least 4 cans of soda per day were 30% more likely to suffer from depression than people abstaining from pop. So here's some bad news for those who prefer diet calorie-free beverages. I'm sure a lot of you listeners have thought diet soda is better. It's less calories, right? I mean, I once thought that. Well, those who consumed the diet soda in the study had an even greater risk of depression than those who drank the regular pop.
You know, those artificial sweeteners in soda and in other junk foods make you eat more too. They make you eat more than you would if you just consumed sugar instead. And they can alter your gut bacteria, like Jess said, and promote obesity and type 2 diabetes. Jess, why don't you tell the listeners all of the names for those artificial sweeteners hiding in our diet sodas? They're in our sugar-free desserts, sugar-free Red Bull or energy drinks, sugar-free gum, diet iced tea. What are the names of those artificial sweeteners?
Whoa, here I go. Let's hope I pronounce these right. These artificial sweeteners include saccharin, also known as Sweet and Low, aspartame, which is also known as NutraSweet and Equal, S-sulfame, which is also known as Sun8 and Sweet One, sucralose, which is the sweetener known as Splenda, and then there's also a lesser-known artificial sweetener called neotame. And I think the other sweeteners that we really approve, Marisa and I, are going to be pure stevia, which is a natural sweetener, and even monk fruit, which is usually combined with stevia.
That's right. I mean, they're often put in the same category as those artificial sweeteners because they are like 100 times sweeter than sugar, and they're not sugar, and they're 0 calorie, for instance. But really the only ones that Jessica and I will usually approve are natural sweetener like stevia and monk fruit, like you said. But you're going to hear us mention a few alternatives to your diet drinks at the end of this episode when we're giving you tips for quitting. So don't worry. Some of those will include stevia, and you'll get all those tips soon.
Now let's think about what's happening when we consume diet soda. What does the science say? In a San Antonio longitudinal study of aging, they tracked 749 people over a 9-year period in an attempt to see what effect artificially sweetened soda use had on people's waistlines. And they factored in all sorts of variables, like other habits a person had. other health or disease markers they had, and this is a sign of a trustworthy observational study.
Yep. So in this study, the people that were overweight and using artificially sweetened soda experienced double the increase in their waist size compared to the people who were overweight but not drinking diet soda. So this suggests that artificial sweeteners might in fact screw up the signals that tell us when we're full. And that use of these sweeteners by anyone who's overweight may be making them overeat even more. Listen, something that tastes sweet but contains 0 calories may sound like the perfect cure for a sugar addiction, but it's usually not. It's just confusing your brain by making it think that there should be calories to go along with that sweetness. Your brain tries to correct the imbalance by triggering you to be more hungry and making you consume more calories. You end up eating more food and the weight gain continues. I mean, using artificial sweetener just appears to make you fatter, not thinner.
I think the moral of the story here is that artificially sweetened beverages are linked to poor health outcomes like stress, anxiety, and depression. Aside from diet soda affecting your brain health, it's also horrible for your metabolism. And sugar addiction too, leading to diabetes, metabolic syndrome, and overeating, despite the word diet on the labels. So now what makes quitting a soda habit so tricky? I think this pretty much comes down to the amount of sugar or sweetness in that can of pop. And if your soda of choice also contains a hit of caffeine or it's a routine part of your life, those factors just exacerbate the addiction. So get this. Studies have shown that sugar can be more addictive than cocaine. We've briefly talked about this in episodes 6 and 7, signs that you're eating too much sugar and tips to cut sugar. So take a listen to those episodes if you haven't already, because Marisa and I share great tips on how to break free from your excessive sugar habit.
Yes, awesome episodes there. And on top of the sugar or the sweetness in your soda being addicting, soda is also so accessible. Am I right? You can find it at any gas station or restaurant or food store around the world, and it's super cheap.
Plus, many of us are introduced to it at a very young age, so it can easily become a comforting norm, right?
Oh gosh, yes, this reminds me. I mean, if people don't want to quit drinking pop themselves after listening to this episode and they only walk away with one thing, I just hope that they walk away knowing how destructive and dangerous it is to allow your baby or your children to consume pop and highly sweetened beverages. I remember, you guys, I saw this woman at a picnic feeding her baby orange soda from the can, and the baby kept screaming every time the mom took it away. So the mom kept smiling and laughing and giving the baby another sip of the orange soda. It was just breaking my heart. That decision to feed her baby soda pop was unknowingly to her going to change her baby's health and food choices for the rest of her life.
Oh my gosh, your story is just like one that Dr. Hyman shares in his book called Food, What the Heck Should You Eat? So he said, once when I worked at an urgent care center, a woman came in with her 7-month-old infant. This little boy was drinking a brown liquid out of his baby bottle. I asked what it was. She said Coke. I asked her why she was giving him Coke, and she said because he likes it. Of course he likes it. Our brains are programmed to love sugar. Sweet things found in nature are always safe to eat, and they're a quick source of energy that helps us store fat for times of scarcity. But today, we are chronically overdosing on it. It's a very dangerous habit to start with your children.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we all need to wean ourselves off of sweetness as much as possible. A sweet tooth is not something to just laugh about and say, oh, that's just how I am. I got it from my mom. No. I mean, as long as we keep eating sweet foods and drinks, we're going to develop that sweet tooth even further. We're going to keep wanting sweet things. And learning to live without sweet things may take some time, but it's entirely possible. People are doing it constantly with the Whole30, 21-day sugar detox, Mark Hyman's 10-day sugar detox. I mean, we're always going to love the taste of something sweet. And that's why we need to find a reasonable, healthy way to move forward and break that chain. But if you have insulin resistance already, prediabetes, diabetes, cancer, or an autoimmune disease, then it's highly recommended that you stay away from sugar and sweeteners altogether. And by the way, you guys, I'm sorry, but drinking beer and excessive wine or champagne consumption is only going to contribute to your sugar cravings and these compounding effects of the sugar consumption we're talking about today.
I mean, is it going to be easy to quit sugar? Probably not at first, but some people have an easier time than others. I mean, do you have an addictive personality? That means you might have to work a little harder at it, or hire a dietitian or a coach like us to help you. But the good news is that we've got some effective tips for you to start quitting today.
Absolutely. I mean, I got so many tips for you guys. But before we start, I just want to say that you are not likely going to want to quit when you're addicted. When you're addicted to sugar or soda drinking, you're going to fight it. There's going to be this voice in your head, and you're going to feel so conflicted because you absolutely, unequivocally love sweet stuff. I mean, you don't want anyone to take away from you. You think it brings you more joy. You think your life is better with it. And that's your addiction talking. Now, breaking free from the grips of this sugar or soda addiction has some pretty immediate benefits. So hopefully this might give you the strength to do it. As soon as you quit sugar, your health is going to improve rapidly. In fact, Dr. Hyman explains that just 10 days after quitting all sugar, you'll see metabolic markers, neurological benefits that cannot be denied, and you will be able to feel. These improvements can even be proved by your lab test results. We're talking everything from inflammatory markers to brain fog and heart disease. Huge improvements, you guys. Boom! It's like problem solved. Let's do this.
Yes, so let's talk about those strategies for quitting. So Tiffany from your Facebook group asked a really great question. So what are some of the withdrawal symptoms of cutting out pop, and how long does withdrawal last? So you might feel irritable or moody. You might even get headaches during the withdrawal, but you have to stick it out. I truly believe that everything is difficult before it gets easy, and I promise that you'll never turn to soda again once you realize how good you can feel without it. You know, we all have bad habits that we would love to break, but getting rid of a bad habit, it's not as effective as creating a new healthy one. It can actually take 2 to 3 years to break an old habit, but on average, only 66 days to build a new one.
You know, I have to add that I think the average is 66 days to build a new one because we will often skip days while we're trying to build the habit. But if you go consecutively without missing a single day, I think it only takes 21 to 28 days to build that new habit.
Thank you for that. So the big idea I'm trying to get at here is to add instead of subtract habits. So instead of fixating on how to break a bad habit, brainstorm a healthy new habit to practice and replace it with. So let's say your bad habit is that you drink a lot of soda or pop. Ask yourself, what new habit can I add instead? You know, what would be really easy and enjoyable and fun to just test out? No pressure behind it. So the addition would be to try what I like to call super soda, which is 2 cups of sparkling water with like a shot glass of 100% juice mixed in. I think it's a great way to cut down on those sugary drinks, but still get the fun fizz that you're looking for. So your focus is not on giving up soda, but instead your focus is on loving the super soda that you are going to drink instead. And here's why this works. So your soda fixation is likely 3 things. 1, the carbonation from the bubbles, 2, the sweet taste, and 3, the caffeine energy. So we have to replace all 3 to kick your soda habit to the curb. So let me break down super soda. The sparkling water is going to be the carbonation. The shot of 100% juice is going to be the natural sugar, and then during the day you can drink some hot green tea with a subtle dose of caffeine. And you could even stir in some raw honey or stevia if you need your tea sweetened. And here's a big pro tip. You want to make sure that you have fun with the juice. Try cool combinations like cherry lime or pineapple mint, as long as it's made with real fruit and not from concentrate. I think you are on the right track.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, sometimes your sugar or your soda addiction is really strong though, right? I mean, I had a client who drank 6 to 10 cans of soda, diet soda, every single day. I had another client that drank Diet Coke every single day for 30 years. So I've got a few methods that are going to get to your super soda, Jess, but we're going to work our way there. We're going to be weaning off of the soda addiction. And in regards to what Tiffany was asking about the withdrawal symptoms, weaning off is very smart for that. And that's a lot of times what people have to do with caffeine. So if you're going to be quitting soda cold turkey, you're quitting the sugar and the caffeine, you're definitely going to get a headache. So weaning off is actually a smart move sometimes. I mean, let's think about this. Can you start by just getting rid of one soda pop that you have at the same time or the same place every day? Like if you always buy your pop when you're passing this one gas station or when you go to the drive-thru that you routinely go to, can you do those errands without buying a pop just as your first step? I mean, that's your first win right there. In my Facebook group, the one you referred to, Jess, called Traditional Foods, Diet, and Lifestyle, Andrea commented that she wanted to share her experience about quitting soda. She said, "This is one of the best decisions I've ever made, and it was definitely tough at first. But the key for me was making the decision and then going for it. A tip that worked best for me was to start swapping out my lunch soda for an entire week with just water or flavored water during her lunch." She said, "Once I got rid of the lunch soda, I started with different times throughout the day, going a step at a time until I didn't even want soda anymore."
I like what you and Andrea are saying, one step at a time. Now, what's your trigger? Is it a meal, restaurant, or place? Are you addicted to the treat, the caffeine, the experience, the sugar, or just the taste?
Exactly. It's important to identify those things for yourself. You know, what is it that is really getting you hooked the most? I mean, one of my clients drank 10 plus cans a day, needed to just first address the caffeine addiction. She didn't even realize she had it. She didn't even realize that drinking the caffeinated pop with her dinner and before bed was causing any problems. She didn't know this was a whole nother battle or layer of her addiction. She just thought it was bad because she was drinking pop. So, I mean, can you switch to a caffeine-free pop in the afternoon and the evening? That's actually a good start, you guys. It's not about being perfect because you have to get there. We don't want you to quitting. We want you to make it there. And these are the baby steps that some people will need to take before they're ready to quit soda entirely.
Oh, I support this so much. You know, I tell my clients all the time, small changes with consistency will lead to mighty outcomes. I truly believe that you don't have to go cold turkey on the pop. If you reduce it from 5 cans a day to 4, oh my gosh, anything is better than nothing at the moment.
Yeah, you don't stop there. You just celebrate the small wins and you break the habit one step at a time. I mean, my favorite way is to actually wean off of the taste of soda. That's how I quit, because I really craved, like you were describing, Jess, all of those things. You know, I really craved the carbonation, and it was just that sweet taste, even though it was artificial sweetener. It was like I was so hooked on it. And this works. I'm about to tell you how to wean off of soda, okay? This works especially well if you drink most of your soda while you're at home or somewhere that has fountain drinks like restaurants and bars. If you usually drink your pop with your drink of choice, like whiskey Coke, for instance, this is really great for that, and anywhere where they have soft serve drinks, okay? Your first step for weaning off of your addiction is to drink your pop with a splash of club soda for 1 week. So right now, you're just taking the edge off of that sweetness and starting to get used to a less sweet version. Now, the second step is to drink half pop, half club soda. And you're going to continue that for 1 week to 2 weeks as long as it takes for you to start liking the taste of that. Because at first you're going to be like, oh, it's not as good, but you'll get so used to it. Now, the third step is you're drinking club soda with just a splash of your pop. Now, this is for 1 week to 2 weeks, as long as it takes for you to enjoy the taste of it. Now, the last step is you are just drinking straight club soda. You're adding lemon or lime and keeping it really cold so you are enjoying it just like you used to enjoy that pop. And this works if you order delivery. A lot of people, I even see at my own office, they like to order their pop with their delivery, their lunch. And if the place you're ordering from has a fountain drink, it's perfect. Just ask them. They don't think it's weird. They've heard everything. Ask the restaurant, can I get Diet Pepsi with half club soda, half Diet Pepsi? They'll do it for you. And you can also bring your own club soda to work and just dilute it. But that's a lot harder to do and takes a lot more willpower. So I highly suggest you order it that way.
And you're really not being high maintenance ordering your fountain drink this way. I mean, people ask for crazy things all the time when they're at restaurants, so it's not high maintenance at all. And what I really like about the whole idea of weaning off soda, this is a little off topic, but it reminds me of something I like to call habit first, effort later. Right now, you're just getting into the habit of, okay, I'm going to drink soda with a little bit of club soda added to it. And I'm just going to create the habit of a little less, a little less, a little less. And over time, you'll just put in more of the habit or like more of the effort because you're noticing how much better you're feeling without it.
That's true. Not only will you feel better, but I can tell you from personal experience that your taste buds literally change. I drink a Diet Coke now and I want to spit it out. I think it's disgusting. And that happened after I weaned myself off of the Diet Coke addiction using the same steps I just told you. It truly works. It just takes a little bit of time. And I think you will genuinely enjoy each stage because you are taking those small steps. Now, I want to share with you a text I received from a woman that I helped quit Diet Coke. She texted me, "Thank you so much for helping me with an alternative to Diet Coke. I drink very little Diet Coke now. I mostly drink that Bai drink that you said was okay. Thank you for helping me with the gift of better health. One of the best gifts you can give anyone." I know, right? So what she's referring to here is this method that I use for people who know that they should quit. I mean, they sort of want to quit, but they're scared. I mean, they don't like the idea because they love their pop and they're intimidated by the idea of quitting. And they've just been living their entire life with soda for what seems like forever. So I like to give them these options. There's something you probably see everywhere. Maybe you haven't noticed, but it's called Bai, B-A-I. Justin Timberlake made famous commercials for that. Now they have like these big bottles of Bai, and those are like sweetened caffeinated teas. But the ones I'm talking about are in cans, and they're actually Bai sodas. And they have all different flavors of them. They have like black cherry and blood orange. And I think they even have cola alternatives. And they're sweetened with stevia. There's also a stevia pop that you can buy at places like Whole Foods and maybe even Trader Joe's. But it's called Zevia, Z-E-V-I-A. And they make flavors like cream soda and black cherry. Those are the two I recommend that I think are actually really delicious. And if you like that sweet taste of diet soda, you are going to love these. And I even sometimes suggest that you can pick flavored LaCroix sodas, because they have all different flavored LaCroix club soda now, and add your own liquid stevia drops to get the level of sweetness that you like, and it actually tastes like sweetened pop.
I am a huge fan of LaCroix. They have a lot of fun flavors. Another idea I love for finding a healthy replacement is to get in the habit of drinking kombucha. It's like a probiotic soda pop for adults.
Yes, Jess, this is a great idea. This is so great for when you're at the gas station. They even sell Kavita, a brand that Pepsi bought. Kavita kombucha at the gas station, or even just when you feel like you need carbonation or a treat. I mean, let's first just tell everyone that doesn't know, kombucha is a traditional fermented tea. Okay, don't let me lose you on the word fermented, okay? Because really it's just a probiotic, like cultured thing that you can enjoy just like yogurt, but it's a drink and it's carbonated like soda. They just take sweetened tea and sometimes different fruits and things like mint or whatever they want to flavor it with. And they let the carbonation, like when you're making beer or wine, those yeasts are eating up the sugars and making it bubbly and making it fermented. So you get these probiotic benefits, but you're getting the taste of like a carbonated beverage. It's pretty awesome. Now, if you really have a sweet tooth, you're going to want to look with kombuchas that have more grams of sugar on the back label. That's how you can tell it's probably going to be a flavor profile that you'll like at first. But I want you to work your way towards the kombucha bottles that have less grams of sugar. I mean, it really shouldn't have double-digit grams of sugar per serving. But remember this, okay? You have to try all different flavors of kombucha and all different brands of kombucha before you tell me that you don't like it, because all of those different flavors and all of those different brands are going to vary and taste dramatically. Am I right, Jess?
Oh, 100%. I mean, you walk into a Whole Foods or even a Trader Joe's, and there is a whole section of different types of kombuchas. So really, you do want to just, test out which ones you like and which ones will work for you. So just to recap, if you are having an intense sugar craving, you don't have to ignore it. So just try reaching for something that's more nutrient dense than your old bottle of soda was. Try something like unsweetened iced tea with your own lemon or raw honey. There's also a lot of sweet tasting teas that are naturally sweet, like peppermint tea and this great cinnamon apple one I tried. Yum. So in addition to testing out super soda or stevia sweetened beverages, you can also try snacking on berries with homemade whipped cream, or even apple slices with tahini or nut butter or a piece of dark chocolate. I mean, these are just a few of my favorite sweet treats, as they won't spike your blood sugar, they won't cause weight gain, they won't lead to brain fog, and they're not going to stress your body out.
Yeah, there you have it, you guys. I wish I could say that we gave you all of our tips, but I think we left you with plenty to try and plenty to think about here. This was a doozy. I mean, if you're ready for some serious changes with your health, now you know where to start.
So please share this episode with anyone who can use the help quitting soda or pop habits. We can make this change together, you guys.
Yes, share this episode. I know it can help so many people. Thanks for listening.
Bye.